feeling a little ill.
You're feeling ill?
Up from what?
I gotta get my notes up here.
I'm just kidding.
Stress.
Stress.
You.
Me. Life, the ultimate killer.
Unless you're that dude from Highlands Ranch.
Hello, welcome to Flicks and Dicks. I'm Travis.
Mike.
I'm Lisa.
And this week we're going to be doing License to Drive, 1988, directed by Neil Tolkien. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that was the writer,
It's like,
Neil
what?
Tolkien. He's directed by Greg Beeman, and starring, as if they
Corey
need
Haim.
any introduction.
Corey Haim, Corey Feldman.
And then Carol Kane, Richard Masser,
Yep.
and Heather Graham's in this movie. All right. Who else we got? We got.
Start over.
We got. No, in fact, that's staying in. And those are really the biggies there. But there's a couple of gems in this movie that we're also going to go over. I mean, they're barely anything at the time. Most of the people are barely anything at the time on this one, except the Coreys. So,
Right, especially Greg Beeman this was his first theatrical debut. So he had, helped out with directing for the Wonder Years, but this was his first major film, and not too shabby.
No, I think this was first.
Not too shabby box office wise, but as far as directing,
No, I mean, it gets you where you want to go.
Shabby
It's
box
fun, all
office.
that good stuff.
The movie bombed.
The movie bomb. Do you know what? This is Heather Graham's debut as a lamppost.
Yeah.
insert cricket.
I had to think about that for a minute. No, you're absolutely right.
No, she's a total lamppost
She really
in this
is.
whole movie. No, this is her first substantial film. She'd done like 2 or 3 before, but this was her first. Yeah, she's the main lamppost.
Yeah, that has to get stuffed in a trunk. But no, the movie did bomb. I mean, even when did this come out?
88.
Why did you say it bombed? It was a box office success
Okay, $22 million is what it
in
made.
1988.
Do
It
you
did really,
Do you have
really
any numbers
well.
on how much it cost?
8
$8 million.
8 million, 22 million? Right on. No, not too shabby numbers, but $88.
What did the average movie in the late 80s pull in?
You're going to make
I
me have to
honestly
look
don't
know.
stuff
Like, I'm a
up.
statistician. I have
don't
no
know.
idea what
it's
the
listed
average-
as a
You just
box
looked up-
office success.
You just looked up all this shit on the way here. So what's a few more seconds of, point and click?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to stay quiet for a moment while I look this up.
All right, while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and give the synopsis here. A teen decides to go for a night on the town with his friends despite flunking his driver's test. That's a great synopsis by IMDb.
Don't fuck with the Department of Motor
Don't
Vehicles.
fuck with the Department of Motor Vehicles.
That is the quote that you guys have all been saying, but that's not the actual quote.
She says, "Don't fuck with the Department
All
of Motor
right.
Vehicles."
No,
Do you
no,
have the
no,
actual
but
quote?
that's what we grew up saying that quote.
What
Don't
did she say
fuck-
then? I could have sworn that's what it was.
Yeah, I do have the actual quote. Actually, here, let's see what it says. So she says,
The DMV.
well,
give it-
Mr. Anderson, we were able to retrieve your test results from the computer, and as I suppose you already know, you failed. God giveth and the DMV taketh away. You mustn't fuck with the Department of Motor Vehicles. We can make your life a living hell.
So out of left field.
Bam!
So
That
out of
is-
left
that
field.
is exactly what she said.
That's exactly.
Damn it. Like, this movie is like 3 different movies in one. In pace and timing. It's just all of a sudden, there's the DMV scenes, and now we're in a fucking cartoon.
No, this movie is Adventures in Babysitting, and it's Ferris Bueller's Day Off rolled into License to Drive.
You said the same thing about The Wizard.
Well, I'm sorry. You put out a movie in 1988, 1989, that's what you're going to get. Cookie cutter
You know what else
stuff.
we're going to get? We're going to break the fourth wall. Because that's coming up, and we just can't resist doing that in 1988.
You know what? Maybe it's all linked to the Wonder Years.
Okay, it's funny you said that because the Wonder Years only breaks the fourth wall once. I've been watching these episodes, and Kevin Arnold looks at the camera once out of all the series, and it's almost like the director was like, "We're never doing that again." When I say breaking the fourth wall, I'm talking about the 80s. Turn to the camera and wink, fucking wink. That's it. We have character, actor, character. But in this case, it's like character, actor, and then it takes us out of it, so it's just all of a sudden...
It happened briefly later in the film as well. Dad, when
That doesn't break the
He goes,
fourth wall.
he goes, what? And you know, when he finds out mom's in labor,
Nah,
he turns.
he's looking just past the
turns.
camera. Nope, he's looking
It looked like he
just
was
past the
looking
camera.
directly at us. I felt him peering into my soul.
Well,
Okay, so I'm looking at the weekend of November 4th through the 6th, 1988. What was the average that movies grossed? The movies that were released during that weekend, you have Halloween 4, Mystic Pizza, Punchline, and these are all like, I mean, we're everywhere from 4 million to 22 million. Nothing goes above 22 million.
Really?
So
Yeah.
it is a
Alright.
success. No,
So,
that's
yeah.
fantastic.
It was a total success for 1988.
Well, I stand corrected.
You good.
All right.
Should. All right.
So
And I do.
let's go over these casting characters. All right, I think we really need to do the top 5 here. I mean, there are so many cameos and so many character actors in this movie. I don't really think we need to dive into it. We're definitely going to get into it later. But let's talk about the Coreys. Let's start with Corey Haim. This is his movie.
Yeah, it
Yep,
is.
this is his
Agreed.
movie. Okay, cool. So Corey Haim, how do you do?
I think he did great. I think that the movie was perfectly cast. Perfectly cast.
That's a good point. Charles, I thought, was a little bit, and we're going to get to Charles in just a second, but Charles was really just, wow, we just yanked some guy off the street.
He
and
was
said,
just some guy
hey,
off the street
Stick
and said,
on,
"Do
stick
it."
on this,
Yeah.
these glasses and this ascot. He's wearing an ascot, right?
No, that was actually. I don't.
That's a fucking
Was it wearing
ascot.
an
I mean, no.
Okay,
When will you stop wearing ascots? 88? I thought
don't know.
88 would start transitioning,
I think-
like we talked about last time, bolo ties
Well, with
and
Barbie and Ken,
cabooses.
Ken wore him for a long time.
Well,
so,
they did in
Fucking
Scooby Doo
weird.
as well.
What's that?
Scooby Doo.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I guess Fred did wear an ascot,
Fred
Mike. But
always wore an ascot.
this is License to Drive. Why is Charles wearing an ascot? It's not a cartoon. It's kind of a cartoon.
But funny enough, though, sorry, I know we're getting off of Corey Haim here, or the Coreys, but the kid that played Charles, I can't remember his name, but no, that he actually played very much so himself. He was a straight A kid in high school, shy, kind
Oh,
of
you got some
dorky.
numbers on this guy.
Yeah, I mean, he looked really familiar, so I had to look him up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he was the straight A student in high school and kind of the dork.
Is he an
Shy
actor?
kid.
Like he's an actor?
I think probably, aside from License to Drive, one of the most notable things he did, there was a McDonald's commercial back in 2000 for the Olympics
Fair enough.
where he's holding a French fry in front of his television screen to get the USA runner to go a little bit faster because the guy could like smell the French fry and he's running along.
Hey, Corey Haim's first job was a McDonald's commercial. How weird is that?
Was it?
Is this some kind of McDonald's commercial alumni
You
association?
know, that is
we
the
got going
one
on?
ad that I did not see posted in this movie. I did not see a McDonald's.
The
I mean,
one
you had
ad?
7-Eleven, you had Pepsi, but I did not see McDonald's.
All right. So, what about his character? All right. This is the whitest movie I've ever seen in my life. The whitest white America I've ever seen in a movie.
It takes place in Southern California.
I think there were two.
No, you had the driver's license guy.
No, you had two minorities. You
what is
had
his
some
name?
guy in a
James?
turban at the DMV, and then you had Paulo that we're also going to be talking about.
No,
the
and then
Italian
you
dude.
had the dad from Fresh Prince of
yeah,
Bel
what
Air.
is James?
Oh yeah.
What is
Harvey.
it?
Harvey.
No.
His name is something Carvey. James Avery.
James Avery.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, 3. Are they principal actors? Are they principal characters? Are they students at the school? Are they residents of their neighborhood?
James Avery's
No,
character
this is the whitest fucking movie I've ever seen.
In my mind, one of the most memorable characters in the entire movie.
That's what I'm talking about. Again, I'm going to get into it later, but that DMV, all of a sudden we're in cartoon land. It's Looney Tunes the whole time. We got wide-angle shots of people's nostrils. It's nuts. It's absolutely bananas.
Yes, the whole film is chock full of mistakes, and I think that's what has kept people going over the years because I spotted another one, I spotted another one, I spotted another one. So it's kept the movie going, all the mistakes. So let's just enjoy it.
White America being the biggest mistake.
The
right?
biggest mistake,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so what? There's not much to his character. He is a completely overprivileged white dude with every single thing in his room that you could possibly imagine. We've got movie posters. We've got guitars. He's got 2 guitars. He's got an electric guitar and an acoustic guitar.
I don't think that they glorified it.
But they're all in there with that room intercom and everything.
It was there.
He's
but
asking
it
for a goddamn
wasn't.
BMW.
But what did Dad say?
Didn't we all ask for some totally ridiculous
I
thing?
asked for a VW Bug. And it could be absolutely used, but that was what I asked for because I knew it was going to be like $1,000 or whatever.
I didn't ask for a car because I knew better. We just borrowed Mom's car while she was sleeping at night.
This guy goes to the trouble to research it, pulls out the brochure, slips it to his father, is making a campaign out of this, and he's like, "Dad, did you get the brochure I showed you?" And
Oh, yeah, totally.
he's like, "Oh yes, I've taken a look at it."
Yes, kids present their parents with totally ridiculous things. They just do that. Every child does that. Here, so I'm looking at getting this, and you're like,
But see, he
"That's
wasn't.
nice."
He wasn't a totally overly privileged kid. Because what did Dad
What?
get him? What did Dad get him?
A BMW hat.
The present Dad left for him was the BMW hat.
All right.
I
fine,
did not look
okay.
at this as overprivileged
No.
kid at
You
all.
gotta be all right. We're definitely getting into that. Corey Feldman. All right. So this was supposed to be his movie.
Was
What?
it?
Yep, that's what I saw on E Entertainment. The True Hollywood Story, or whatever, of the Coreys. Jeez, he can't even. Corey Feldman can't even get his own E True Hollywood Story.
He's got to share it with somebody.
He's got to share it with Corey Haim.
Of course.
But no, they said it was supposed to be his movie, and he
That doesn't even
auditioned
make
for
any
it,
sense.
and they were like kind of going that direction, and then they're like, you know what, we got to do Haim. We
Yeah.
got to do Haim, and he's like, son of a bitch, the guy took my movie again.
Haim has that baby face, that lovable, you just want to grab his cheeks and pinch face.
Yeah, he's sticking his tongue out throughout the whole thing. I cannot.
I
You can
cannot
fucking
stand
keep
people.
it.
If you are a person who takes pictures with your tongue hanging out
Just
your face,
your
if you
mouth
talk
hanging
with your
open
tongue
with the
hanging out
tongue
your face,
hanging out of your
put
face.
your tongue back in your goddamn face, please. Thank you.
I'm not saying he's not a good actor. I think he's a great. I think he was a great actor.
But he did
R.I.P.
that. The only movie where he did not stick his tongue out was Lucas. And he might have even done it there.
Oh, I know he.
But I don't recall those scenes.
He had to, because that was a shtick. Because that
But
was
yeah,
his
he's done it in
cute
every
face.
freaking movie.
Infuriating. Yes. So okay, back to Corey Feldman.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's did great with what he
Yeah,
was given here.
he played the
did, yeah.
perfect best friend who's like, no, come on, let's get into trouble, We've all had that best friend that just eggs us along to do the most stupid things, and we completely lose our mind with them. He did a great job. He played that role perfectly.
And he kept the story moving along pretty well. I mean, let's keep getting into trouble. Let's keep getting.
They
into
always
trouble.
played the same part, though. The Hames. They always played the same part.
The Hames, the Coreys.
The Hames, the Coreys, yes.
You know what's funny
Sorry,
about that?
Feldman.
In Goonies, he's supposed to be the son of a plumber, so he knows about plumbing. In this one, he's the son of a. What's the storyline on his background here?
Did they even say what his parent? I don't
He's
think they
fixing
did.
the hood after they damaged the hood. He's banging it back into place.
All we know is that his parents sleep like vampires
And-
or something like that.
Yeah, that's
Doesn't
right.
even
They
make
did
sense.
mention. Yeah,
He
they
said his
mentioned the
parents were
vampire.
vampires. Like
Yeah.
it was Lost Boys reference.
Wink, wink. Do you get it? Do you get it? No, but throughout the whole movie, he's sitting there going, "Don't worry about the damage. I can fix that." Why does he think he can fix it? He have a body shop with a full paint hood, and you can go ahead and fix that. He says it's only the right side. I can get that. Huh? What do you mean you can fix that in a night?
You cannot
Bullshit.
fix that in a night at all.
All right, but yeah, pretty solid performance, right? I think
so.
I think he moved things along quite nicely.
Okay, there was a movie that the Hames that the Coreys did like 5 years later. I actually watched it. It was borderline porno.
Oh, you're talking about
Blown Away.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
is it Blown Away?
It was,
yeah,
it was
yeah,
Blown Away.
I saw a scene with it was Nicole Eggert
Yes.
and
The
Corey
Baywatch
Haim.
girl.
And Feldman was in that movie too.
Yes.
And I
Both
was like
Corys.
sitting there going, I mean, Nicole Eggert from Charles in Charge,
Mm-hmm.
Corey Haim. I'm sitting there going, these are the most PG rated actors I've ever seen, and what are they doing? Why are they doing this to my beloved actors that I've grown up with?
It was 5 years after License to Drive. Really had that much changed.
Very uncomfortable. All right, let's move on to Carol Kane. Oh, what a treasure!
I just love her. I absolutely, and she wasn't even like a big part of this. She didn't pull out her typical comedy in this. I mean, it was very, very, very subtle, but we all still love her, and we could know, okay, this is who she is.
I think she
We're
talks
good.
like that in real life.
Well, I
Yes,
know
she
she
does.
talks like that in
Yes,
real
she
life. I know she does. But no, I thought she was great for the mom. Like I said, I thought it was perfectly cast.
My favorite roles with her is in Scrooged.
Oh, good
That's
lord.
fine.
Yes,
Yes.
Scrooge.
I mean, it's a time before
a
that.
toaster. Boom, and she nails Bill Murray in the face.
Just
That was
out
awesome.
of left field. I love that. But she was also, of course, the in Princess Bride.
Yep, don't recall it.
Don't recall the Princess Bride. I'm sorry.
So the next movie that we're going to be doing is Princess
The
Bride.
Princess Bride. Yeah.
Because it's important.
You guys don't remember this in Princess Bride?
To be honest,
Have fun storming the castle. Do you think it'll work? It would take a miracle. All right. Bye bye.
yeah, if I've seen it, I don't recall. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm cutting this.
Moving on.
All right.
Job opening. If you would like to apply,
flicksanddicks@gmail.com. Go ahead and leave us a message.
Ousted. Awesome.
Where's my beer? Oh, okay. All right. So Richard Masur.
the dad?
Yes,
Yeah.
the dad.
I've seen him all over the place, but I can't pinpoint.
Mike, that's because he is all over the place. This guy has
Yeah.
worked more. He's also was president of the Screen Actors Guild at one time.
Oh, really?
Board member and president. And he's all over the industry. He's been in so many numbers. I thought he did phenomenally
Oh, hell
in
yeah.
this movie.
Oh, hell
It
yeah.
was perfect.
Do you know what? This movie, if it wasn't the Corey's movie, I know we spent most time on them, but if it wasn't their movie, this was definitely Carol Kane and Richard Masur's movie. They did. I mean, they're playing the parents. I mean, you could have cut out all the shenanigans, and you'd have a funny, maybe if not short, I mean, a funny short with them just being funny. Damn it, they're
Dad
funny.
goes to pick up Les, Corey Haim, from school as Les is approaching Mercedes Lane. Dad pulls up in the Cadillac and he's honking his horn, and Les looks over and he's like, oh, trying to pretend Dad's not there. I don't know this guy, and he wanders off. And then one of the greatest lines ever, Les, it's Papa.
Damn it! And you know what's funny? I'm reading up on his experience with this film and all that, and they made such a big deal about he ad-libbed the line "No handle, no handle." Yeah, it was hilarious, but I would have just assumed that was written in. It's like that was the only line you ad-libbed. Are you serious? There's no way.
This movie was so short, it really needed somebody to ad-lib something into it. I guess I am the only one who's completely indifferent on this movie because I feel like I blinked and it was over. It was like watching the trailer for it. It was so short.
It was less than an hour and a half.
I felt like the whole movie was a setup for the last scene. It's like,
Yeah.
I want to make a movie about how someone has to drive balls out to the hospital backwards. And that is awesome.
Okay.
It is awesome. I love that.
Jumping ahead. Let's rewind.
Let's rewind. Jumping ahead, let's rewind?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's a new tagline for our podcast. Jumping ahead, let's rewind.
Hey, that's pretty good. You heard it here first.
Let's move on to the move on to the lampshade or lamppost. I'm sorry, Heather Graham.
Heather Graham.
Now I can give her a hard time because I know she's got chops. She's got chops. She's in Boogie Nights. She was phenomenal in that.
She was a
great.
Noxzema girl.
That's how you remember her, Mike?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
No, she had nothing to do in this movie.
She's
may as
not
well have
even
thrown
listed
into a
as
trunk.
the starring. I mean, they mention her name a million times,
Good
but
shit, she's second billing.
okay. Let's see here.
No,
What am I-
she's second
what am I?
billing in the movie. She's second billing. She's got her own
Can you say her
little.
name?
I'm on Wikipedia. There's 4 people listed as starring, and it is the Coreys and the mom and dad.
Well, hang on.
Yes, I see.
Yeah,
She's
so I
there.
have to
I know she's
scroll
on the
back.
poster. I know her name is
She's
on the
front and center
poster.
on the poster.
Mm-hmm.
She's the car girl on the poster.
Yeah, I think people finally realize they're like, yeah, this isn't starring her at all. She does nothing.
She spent the majority of the time in the trunk.
I think that the 2 things that people got from the movie is, wow, where can I get that dress? And I really
totally.
want Volkswagen. Oh gosh.
That was a Volkswagen Cabriolet.
Cabriolet. That was the biggest car that I heard out of everybody saying, I want a cabriolet, I want a cabriolet. I
Also,
want a
the source
cabriolet."
of a big misunderstanding for me growing up, that whenever I saw that car, I thought it was Mercedes. This is because of
Are
this movie.
you
Seriously?
serious?
Yes, he says, no, Dad, I don't need your BMW because I have a Mercedes. Jumps in the VW Cabriolet, and I thought that was a Mercedes for the longest time.
Wow.
Well, that's what happens when a movie comes out when you're 12 years old. I mean, that's what you
He
get.
was talking about his new woman.
And you know what? There's and obviously we've got we've got the sister and the brother, which, man, again, nothing to do. They may as well have been a prop. But the kid's got a couple funny things. It's not even funny, but the sister...
Oh, where the kid, the little brother busts out with "son of a bitch."
Son of a bitch! Because nothing's funnier than kids.
You know what
swearing.
I liked his facial expressions. He nailed those facial expressions.
It's almost like they're doing auditions. This kid shows up. He's like, "That's my movie. I need that kid in this film. Let's write a couple lines."
All right. Let me hear you say "son of a bitch."
Son of a bitch.
Sold. The part's yours.
That's our boy. You ever done any acting? No, that doesn't matter.
Son of a bitch.
Will your parents allow you to cuss? Yes. Cool.
Do the parents want money? Yes. Speaking of parents wanting money, let's go ahead and get on with this film again. The sister. You know what? The sister, noted actress in her own right. She's a marathon runner and a huge vegetarian, but she was in one of my favorite movies. Probably top 5 favorite movies. She was an American President, and she played the sister to Annette Bening in American President. Yep. And she has such a small role there, but it was just fantastic banter. It almost seemed ad-lib, like they were just letting them go at it. It was awesome. I love that scene in American President.
Right.
All right, moving on, rolling on. Let's go ahead and start with the blow-by-blow. What's going on here? So we start with our film. It's a dream sequence. It's not a flashback. It's a dream sequence. They're on the bus, and he's chained to the seat in the bus. Yes, we are drawing our picture that the bus is the enemy, and everyone with a car has freedom.
Well, I did, as a child, feel like one of the poor bastards chained to the bus. I get that, but no one, where I grew up anyway, had their own freaking car.
Nobody?
No.
The town that I grew up in, everybody had their own car.
Yeah, everyone got their own
16,
car.
You get your license. But when did I get mine? When I was 21. Mike, when did you get yours?
I was 19.
When did I get mine?
When you were
16 fucking years old. You know what I got? You guys want to know when I got my permit? 15 years and 9 months, when you were legally able to get your permit.
When did he steal Mom's truck? When he was 12.
Do you know, this isn't all public record,
came
Lisa.
Out. Oh.
No. I mean, the car was sitting in the driveway. It was ready for me when I turned 16. It was a sports car. It was awesome. And you know what? It was freedom. It was absolute independence. That's everything that this movie said driving was. In every single way that matters. Everything that Corey Feldman says, his little speech, while, America the Beautiful is playing in the background, is true. Is absolutely 100%.
Okay.
So he obviously wakes up there in a driver's ed course, and the teacher says, "I hope you fail because you're a miscreant and all that good stuff like we're supposed to have in these teenage movies." This whole trope of writing "I will not do something bad" on the chalkboard a million times, that's fucking bullshit, right? I mean,
You never had to do that?
You know what?
No, did you?
I looked at that and I said, gosh, I miss those days. Because it really drives it home and really makes you think about what you did, because anytime you're studying for a test, if you write it out, you're going to remember it. If you're writing on a board, you're going to remember it. I think it's a good thing.
well, if you say for
I had to write "I will not pull girls' hair" across the board until I just ran out of room.
Are you telling me that after that incident, you never pulled a girl's hair before again?
No!
No, I mean, of course not. So it's not really effective means of discipline.
No, I'm saying I did
Oh,
not
you didn't?
not.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
No, I mean, but they don't actually make you do that in school.
As an adult, probably I did. Yes, but not as a child. Yes, as an adult, I pulled girls' hair.
All right, we're not talking about
We're talking about
not
writing. I will not do something bad. The whole Simpsons intro, all
Don't
that shit.
do something bad.
They don't actually make you do that. I never had to do that. I was in trouble all the time.
You were in trouble all the time.
I was in trouble all the time.
I had to bang out erasers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a thing too?
That's a thing.
That's fucking weird.
No, we look forward to doing that. No, seriously. Who's going to bang out the erasers today? And I swear to God, at least half the class, their hands went up and everybody's waving their arms around. Ooh, me.
So this is the point where he goes home and they're having the dinner and he says, "Hey, Dad, I'm white and I'm privileged. I mean, can I get my own BMW?" And he's like, "Well, I'm considering it, but I'll go ahead and give you a little ribbing here because this movie is so goddamn white."
He wasn't considering getting him a car.
Bullshit.
Dude, that was sarcasm.
You know what? At the very least, he was considering handing down his own BMW to his son, and don't even tell me he wasn't, because that's bullshit.
No, he was considering handing it down, but it was only at the end after he saw what Grandpa did to his car. That's the only point where he was going to hand over his BMW. Was after Grandpa destroyed
I don't know. I thought there was a thing there. Why would Corey have it in his head? Why would he sit there and go, "No, I think that you're really going to do this for me"?
Okay, we
Because
have a
he
little
wanted
brother
it.
who is, the driving age, and he, in his mind, feels
Did you say you have a little brother?
we have a little brother.
We.
Yes.
Yes.
What the fuck are you talking
Newsflash.
about?
We have a little brother who
Who's? Fuck it. I'll edit this.
You might want to. You might want to.
Jesse. Yeah.
Yeah.
First names are fine, people. Jesus Christ, don't be so weird.
All right, so he wants a car so badly. He is obsessed with cars, and he thinks that he's going to have for his very first car the best sports car on the planet. He thinks he's going to have a brand new 2016, 2017 Mustang.
Yes.
And he
Yes,
hasn't
he really
given any
does.
thought to how this is going to happen.
No, it does not.
Nope.
He has
That
Blinders
does not
up.
But these guys are living in white America. They could probably get him a $26,000 car because he
You
comes
are
in later and
so
says,
fixated
"You
on
just
that."
saved us $26,000,
it was
$3,000 for insurance."
sarcasm. It was straight up parent sarcasm.
Still, I think there
That
is some
was-
like
that was
consideration going on.
full-on parent sarcasm right there.
So, why? Here's my question. Towards the beginning of this movie, when Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, he rides him on his bike up to the front lawn, and Corey Feldman throws his bike down and says, check out this caddy." What is the big fucking deal about this car?
I don't know. It's like a 1970 something.
It's a 1973 Cadillac.
Yeah.
Did you ever have your pants get tight over a 1973 Cadillac?
I don't know, Lisa. Did you have your pants get tighter?
My pants got tighter once over what was it, an El Camino? Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, an El Camino. That was hot.
Wow, El Camino, that's a sexy car. Right there.
All right, now I'm not saying that right now. If I saw that 1973 Cadillac, I'd be like, "Oh, that's fucking awesome." These guys don't give a shit about this car. This is like getting excited over a Ford Tempo.
Right.
There's no reason to get excited over this car.
No,
I don't get it.
No, something from like 10 or 15 years ago, there was nothing to
They
get
said the
excited
car was
over.
16 years
16
old.
years old
Think of
is
the
what
cars
it was.
right now that are 16 years old.
Yeah, like the RAV4.
They're not interesting cars. Nobody gives a shit about these cars. These are Ford Tauruses and Colts and Ford Escorts and stuff. It's like, what? Why are we getting excited over a 1973 boat? This thing's a four-door. It's the biggest trunk I've ever seen. It's got a V8, but that's required to pull that car.
but what we've learned from the last movie that we reviewed, The Wizard, is the older cars can take a
Take a
beating.
fucking beating. That's
Yes.
right. Do you know what? That's probably, at least, I think you're onto something here. The only way this movie could get made, I mean, if they were in that Ferrari that was in the beginning of this movie, I mean, the movie would have been over.
It would have been destroyed in the first few minutes.
Well, they did go through 3 different Cadillacs in this movie.
So, they did? Like, shooting it?
Well, I'm only
I mean, of
assuming because
course.
there's 3 different license plates in the movie. One says Grandpa, one says Grandpa, and one is just a California license plate.
Shut up. They messed that up?
They
I
messed
totally didn't catch
everything up. Yes. So I'm just automatically assuming
Good
3 different
catch.
cars.
I must have seen this movie a million times, just like any of the movies we do on the show. No, I've seen it a million times. I love this movie. I never once saw that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I totally didn't catch that.
Why didn't they just do like, "Oh man, this really sucks. Why does your dad have to have this car for us going to wherever that fucking place is? Where was that?
What are you talking
Oh,
about?
Archie's.
Archie's. Yeah. Why do we have to have this car? Why can't we borrow your mom's Audi? I mean, I'm sure that was an A6 at least.
Yeah, that was another flub. Just so you know, the Audi was actually parked out front instead of being gone with her when she was supposed to be gone. There's so many flubs in this. You can look it up. When I said that the flubs is the only thing keeping this movie together, this is what I'm talking about.
I just don't understand why they couldn't have just played okay, if you need a 1973 Cadillac to take a beating like we need in the movie, then why not have them to, this is our only option. That's fine. Why does it have to be, oh, check out this thing with
Because you can
kick-ass
pack
Archies?
so many people in this car.
If it was a
good
Pinto-
angle. I like
And
that.
look, it's got a big trunk that you can store some random lamp post in.
I never thought a
Mercedes
lamppost
did
would sit in the back of the trunk of a Cadillac. Fucking hell, this movie.
I'm still stuck on the Audi being parked in the driveway when it wasn't supposed to be. What scene was that?
Rewatch it.
Oh, good lord.
Okay, well, let me see. I guess I could skip over my rants about white America. I think I've covered all that.
You actually wrote this in your notes?
Yes.
Don't forget to talk about this.
Welcome to the whitest movie ever. Okay, and then they're having dinner. I got another note here. They're having dinner, and the sister's talking about her boyfriend. My boyfriend thinks cars create dependency rather than independence. All that.
It's a
He says, "Who cares what your commie boyfriend thinks? Personally, I think it's great to be an American." This is such an awkward line. Out of nowhere, it's like, why are we saying this right now? I feel like there was a deleted scene where they're really going into this socialistic rant.
Do you know what my favorite part of the movie was? And it was right around that, is when he's honking the horn, honking the
Oh,
horn.
God damn it. I love that
was
scene, yeah.
And he's
fantastic.
just eating his dinner like,
Smiled
this
away,
can stop any time.
drinking on his milk, just
This is
grinning at
probably
mom and
the
dad.
most clever part of the movie, and the best acting, the best writing of this whole
Right.
movie right here. Is like, this is really getting inside the head of a teenager. It's like, oh, I'm terribly sorry. Do you hate the noise? I'll go ahead and finish eating because I know you'll put up with this shit. And here's the problem with that. No teenagers ever are that bright. No teenagers I know actually have. They're just going to bitch about not being able to leave. Hey, he's honking. They'll never sit down and be
I
like,
wouldn't have
"Oh, I
bitched
can
about
put
it.
up with
I
this, you
sat there
can't."
terrified, waiting for mom and or dad's response to the horn, incessantly beeping. I would have been terrified that my parents were going to throw something at me, at my friend, or whomever. No, I wouldn't have been grinning ear to ear, eating my food. Ha 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 ha! I'm going to get my way.
I was way too dumb at that age. No, I was way too dumb to play the long game, to actually take the long view and say, there's no way they're going to put up with this shit.
It was a great scene, though.
Oh, it's an awesome scene. I love it. So they're going to the party, and they pull up another very strange line. It seems like it's inserted. The bullies come up in the car and they say, "Hey guys, mommy hold your dick while you piss." I don't remember talking to parents like that when I was that age, even though I was kind of a troublemaker.
No, we brought this up in several movies, and maybe we were just good kids, but yeah, the way that kids talk to adults was so rude. But nowadays we say, "Oh my gosh, back in my day, we would never talk to an adult like that."
Did we ever?
Well, we didn't.
No,
you just
we
saw it in
didn't.
movies. You just saw it in movies.
Absolutely, we got a
But
backhand for
beating
that
was
shit.
also acceptable back then.
Wait, Lisa, I think you got something there.
Don't make me reach around there and backhand you.
Oh, that reach around hand from mom—that's the scariest thing on the planet.
My mom, I recall her doing it once, but it hurt her. She hurt her hand hitting my knee. So from there on, it was my dad that did all the beatings.
Did you guys think this movie was kind of missing half of its movie trope? 80s movies trope?
How so?
Okay, so we have, for normal tropes, we've got fat kid, smart kid, leader, and there's the brainy kid.
Well, what I didn't understand was
We're
why
missing half of the
if
cast
Mercedes
there.
was so popular, where was her posse? Like, she did not
Oh shit, she didn't hang around anybody.
She's sitting out in front of the school by herself.
And she has
hung
nothing
out-
better to do.
She hung out with Paolo, her middle-aged boyfriend.
Totally
What is
middle-
going on there?
Yeah.
She's
Old
a
enough to drink.
minor, man. This guy has got his own place. He's got a pretty cool car from what I can tell.
Wasn't the drinking age then though 18?
18?
Yeah.
Do you have your own place at 18? Are you
But
snappy
no,
dresser
dude
at
was
18?
not 18. Dude was not 18 any more than I'm 18 right now.
This guy's a pretty flashy,
He
sophisticated
was like
guy.
35, but yeah, I know.
And she says later, I don't know why I ever hung out with him. Yeah, because it's illegal. You can't do that. You're in fucking high school. So back to, we're missing half of our movie trope here. Where is the fat guy? Where is the brainy
No,
guy?
you've
Where
got
is-
the
You had the
nerd, you
brainy
got
guy.
the popular kids, you have the bullies, you have that.
Charles was the
They're just not all in
Charles-
the same group.
Charles
No,
was the brainy
Charles-
kid, kissing his mom goodbye.
Because good lord, if we can't have an 80s movie without a camera, that's not going to work. I guess not everyone had their iPhones yet, so you couldn't have your big, huge shoulder-mounted video camera, like in Lucas. That scene's in Lucas.
Yes, it is. It would have been a little awkward though, driving down the road.
Yeah, that's a good question though. Who's Mercedes getting mixed
Oh,
up with?
wait. I've got facts here.
Oh, we got facts. Go ahead.
In 1988, that is when all states rates their drinking late. Boo! Cut.
Well, at least we're not at a full bottle of wine yet.
In 1988, all 50 states raised their drinking age to 21.
I thought
was
so.
The year.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I remember our older sister was so amped. She's like, yes, I'm almost there, I'm almost there, I'm almost there. Fuck.
So what's the age for statutory rape? Jesus Christ. Paulo is not 21 years old.
Maybe that depends on the state you're in as well. I don't know.
Okay, either Paulo's from money, okay, or he's got a pretty damn good job. Either way, he's like working it in that club. There's a huge line out there, and they didn't have to wait. They just walked right in.
Maybe he was in the porn
walked
industry.
right in.
Maybe he was in the porn industry, and that's why he had
Oh,
Mercedes.
good
and his
one,
other
Mike.
candy.
So, in thinking Richard Masur is probably, with his character, he's probably a cool guy. He was probably a cool guy in his youth. You can tell with the sunglasses and the mustache and his like snappy relationship with his. He can relate. He can relate to Corey Haim.
Okay.
All right. So he picks up Corey from school and takes him driving, and he's a great dad. Okay. Why does Corey keep shitting on him? He keeps breaking his promises. He keeps lying to him. I mean, they seem to have a pretty good life. He's got everything he needs. Why does he need to lie? And his father's actually surprised when he does lie to him. So it's obviously he never does it, but he does it time and time and time again in this movie.
Well, yeah, but with the car scene where Dad's letting him drive, well, yeah, of course, Les is going to lie to his dad because he's got a hot girl next to him.
Yeah, and Dad's completely cool with that. He's like, all right, let's give her a cruise. Another awkward line in this movie.
Okay, I thought that was hysterical. Let's give her a cruise.
Let's give her a cruise. And he's pumping his pelvis. I'm like, take
I
it
didn't
easy,
see him
Richard.
pumping his pelvis. He was just like, upper body bouncing.
Yeah, you knew where that was going, Mike. You knew where that was going.
All right.
All right, so here's a question I had. I could only think of you guys when I was watching this movie with this. Would you let... I'm sorry, because I know the answer. I can't believe this was even a question. Would you let your kid drive around the block to impress a girl or boy? And would they do the right thing if you let them?
I would not
Yes.
allow it.
Of course you'd let them.
Lisa
yeah.
would. I would
would.
not. Would our child do the right thing and only go around the block? I do believe so.
Yeah. I think that they would loop back and they'd be like,
Can I go back out?
Or send a text saying, can I please
Or
do
send a
this?
text. Okay,
Yes.
what if you couldn't fucking send a text?
He'd say, I need to go take care of my mom for just a second. It's like some do-good deed.
You think he'd do
where
that?
he'd
Yes.
run in, help me inside, and say, please, can I just do this, just this once? Yeah. Yeah.
He's a pain in the ass in many other areas, but in that regard, yes, he would do that.
Fair enough. All right, so my next question here is, what do you think Heather Graham's endgame is here? She's walking home from
She's
school.
looking for love, man. She wants somebody to love her.
She's not looking for Corey.
Not the middle-aged dude driving the Ferrari.
Okay, so I looked it up. He's not so middle-aged. He was born in 1968, which means he was 20 when this movie came out. So...
He's pretty sophisticated 20.
He didn't look like he was 20.
So maybe that's
Yeah.
what they were going for. I'm watching this, I'm sitting there going, this guy's got a condo, and he's got a pretty sweet pad on the
I'm
upper
surprised about
west
one
side.
thing with his character. I kept waiting for the comb or the brush to come out.
And
No,
it didn't.
kidding.
And
it
it
didn't.
didn't.
come out.
His hair was that good.
His hair was freaking perfect.
That's right.
What was your question?
What's Heather Graham's endgame? Okay, she's walking home from school, obviously. All right, and by the time Corey picks her up in the caddy, which again, why is this an impressive car? Why is she impressed with the car?
She wasn't.
Okay,
Didn't you see-
so
she
for
got-
She's
me-
looking at this car going, oh, I didn't recognize you because you're in such a cool fucking car. They opened this movie with the Ferrari 308, and we're still going back to this 1973 boat.
I thought the look on her face was, oh, how quaint.
She didn't seem to mind the car the whole movie.
For me...
She was drunk and
Now, I
feel like
was
that's
not
a
a
good
slut
point.
in high school, but for me, the bigger the car, the more you could do in the car.
oh my.
Maybe that's just the whole thing I keep going back to. But
Oh my.
So this is another strange thing. he picks up Mercedes and says, "Which one's your house?" She says, "It's the third one on the left," meaning that she's like literally 15 seconds away from home.
Yes.
Not by car,
And
but by
walking on
foot.
the wrong side of the street. For no reason, but that's okay.
She's walking on the wrong side of the street. Yes, she is.
Because she was lost in La La Land, contemplating her life, her navel, whatever. She was looking for love.
So how awkward is this going to be? You're going to pick her up. You're going to open the door for her. You're going to have her get in. She starts. They drive away, and then he's going to stop.
She took advantage of him. She took hardcore advantage of him right there.
That's what I was going for. Is she saying, accepting the ride, saying, "I'm going to have him take me to our friend's house in whatever the fucking town it was."
I think that she had every intention of, actually going home. I mean, she was right friggin' there, and I'm assuming that her friend lived in a town, a good distance away. Because she's,
Is this a big deal? I mean, if she thinks he has his license, then it's not that big of a deal.
I just think that this scene should have been outside the school instead of her almost home saying, "Oh, by the way, I'm actually going here." I thought it was
Absolutely. Oh, really good point. I mean, he could have jumped in the car, been really excited, looked over at Mercedes and said, "Dad," before they even drove anywhere.
Yeah.
They said, "Dad, hey, you know what? Do me a
but
favor."
he couldn't have Mercedes see him in the car with Dad.
Shit, she was barely paying any attention. He could have easily gotten out of the car. And she already knows Dad was in the car because he's, "Hey, it's Papa."
Which for anybody that has kids,
So
if you've ever dropped them off at school, it really is a highlight when you drop the kid off and you roll down the windows and you yell out, the kid's name, like in my case, "Colin, I love you, buddy."
So this is a thing too, right? This is a thing?
It's a thing.
Okay, and they just die of embarrassment and they'll just kill
He died of
themselves.
embarrassment. No, he's he's turning 18 here soon. He hugs me before we get out of the car.
He turned to look at me when I called out his name. He stopped. He turned around. Like I was gonna, give him some parting words of wisdom or whatever. And then I bust out with, "Daddy loves you." And it took him about a half second or so to for it to sink in before he realized what was just said. And then all of a sudden, eyes grew wide, and he just and kind of awkwardly did an about face and tried to hustle as quickly as he could into the school because this crazy guy's out there. "Daddy loves you."
God, Mike, you're such a dick dad, I'm telling you. Don't you remember what it was like to be young?
Yes, I do.
I still don't know what. So here she is. She, it's nighttime, and she decides to call him. Well, he calls her first, and then she decides to call him. But this is the most popular girl in school. Why does she not have all of her girlfriends around her? And they're looking through the magazine saying, "Whose number is this? Why isn't there the giggling back and
Did
forth?"
we establish that she's the most popular girl in school?
That's
She's
how it was
probably
portrayed.
attractive, but is she the most popular? I mean, did we establish that,
I
or are we
think
just
you're making
assuming
an
that?
assumption.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's
That's
elite.
how the movie was portrayed. That's how it was. put out.
Corey's
I wouldn't-
infatuated. Corey Feldman doesn't give a fuck. Corey Haim's
I
infatuated
wouldn't
with
say
her.
that it was portrayed that way because never once did you see her with anyone other than Paolo.
I remember being infatuated with this girl in growing up from the 3rd grade, but she wasn't the most. Don't go there, Lisa.
I'm not going to say names.
But she wasn't the most popular girl in school.
The name will pop out soon.
No, it will not. Okay. She's going to get a restraining order. So what is the big deal about not admitting that you don't have a license in high school? Everybody knows where everyone is in the progression of getting a license. There's no variable here. Everybody knows that nobody has a license before 16 years old. And all the freshmen and 99% of the sophomores don't have their license. Why is it so humiliating when he's explaining it to his dad that, she's going to laugh and die of embarrassment because I don't have a license?
According to
Why
you,
is this such a big
it
deal?
was overprivileged white America, and he should have had his license in driving a Mercedes or BMW or whatever.
Is this a world where a whole bunch of people drive without their license and that's just an accepted thing? Because they did the same thing in Clueless.
I thought that was real life.
Really? No, I didn't drive without a license.
I
You
did.
stole mom's truck and you drove.
It's on a fucking farm. It's out in the middle of nowhere. I mean,
across the fields.
yeah, but we're not driving around town without a license because
No, we did.
as
We
Feldman,
borrowed
It
my
was
mom's
pretty-
car and drove around town.
It was
You're
pretty
stealing the-
regular to
you're
hear
stealing the car.
I stole my mom's
Yes.
car. Hey, steal
Yeah.
your mom's car tonight. Like, it was a regular
but
thing.
this is not endorsed by the parents.
No, well, why would it be?
No, but that's the thing. In Clueless it is. Clueless, he says, "Hey, I'm taking your privileges away. No more driving without a license." That's a line in the movie.
Okay. Clueless is also a very, very dumb.
Oh,
Movie.
come on. Clueless is fantastic.
I wouldn't say that.
Clueless,
But-
Clueless.
It was a movie that didn't take itself seriously.
Yeah,
It was
no,
a
it was
movie
great.
that was, tongue in cheek, blonde, funny behavior stuff. Anyway,
But that's why you hang out with juniors and seniors, right? So that they can drive. And all the freshmen hang out with juniors and seniors. All the girls date upperclassmen so that they can have a ride to school. This is the accepted behavior. This is not like out of the blue. I don't have a license like you're 40 years old and don't have a license. What's the big deal? I did
21
not.
without a license.
no one cared that we took the bus everywhere.
Well, when we moved to the city, like the city, then it wasn't as necessary.
No, that's why I didn't get my license till I was 19, because the bus took me everywhere.
When you're
and
in
a car was
suburbia
an added
or out in
expense
the middle
that I
of
didn't
nowhere,
need.
it's a must.
So let's get
That's
to this
why
deal.
you guys took the horse to get the pizza?
No,
That's a thing we can say.
no, it would have been smarter if we took the horse to go get the pizza, but instead
That's
we
right, we
walked
talked about
10
this. You
miles.
walked instead of taking the horse.
Our horses were very underutilized, weren't they? I did say utilized, by the way. Fuck it.
Dad would cringe.
Oh, wouldn't he? Yeah. Utilized. Why don't you just say use? Okay. I'm surprised we didn't use the horses more often.
All right.
So I'm not buying this DMV test. This big test that he's taking because so you have to take the written exam before you can that was the same for you guys, right? You have to take the written exam before you can go out and take the
Yes.
driver's test, right?
Yes.
To prove that you're not a moron.
No, you take the you take the written to get your permit, and then you can just take the driver's.
That's what I remember. I thought you took the written to get your
I
permit.
wouldn't know because I got mine when I was 21 and I had to do both at the same time. But in general,
In this movie, they're doing both at the same time, the same day. So the written was this computer terminal interface that was like, "You have failed." Oh, blah, blah.
Mine
It's
was
like
a
a
number
video.
2
I'm not
pencil.
buying that. Is
Mine
that a
was a
thing?
number 2 pencil and a booklet.
Yeah, mine too. Okay, so this whole computer terminal thing, is this just in rich white suburbia?
oh my gosh, it's in Southern California. Let's just say it. It's in Orange County.
It's in Orange County.
So they very well might have had terminals.
So I'm watching the movie and I'm looking at these questions. I'm like, I got this shit, right? I actually got some of them wrong.
I was looking at
I
that
looked
going,
at that
"Oh, shit.
too, going,
What
it's
is the
B.
answer?"
It's B. It's B. And now I'll never know because
I kept
C,
watching.
but-
I kept watching to see what button he was gonna push. And I'm like, wait, no, it's A. Oh, no. Oh shit! Wait, what would that be?
I actually had to look one of them up. I don't remember what it was, but I looked one of them up. It was which lane
Water?
is the smoothest lane
Okay,
of
that's a
traffic?
dumb ass question.
What's the answer? I don't know what the
It would
answer
be the
is.
left lane because the gutters are at the right lane, right? Are you talking about water?
No,
No.
I'm talking
Oh.
about which lane is
Which
the
lane is the
smoothest lane of
smoothest
traffic.
lane
That's
of
one of the
traffic?
questions. Yeah.
I
Well-
would still say the left lane.
Yeah,
because
given
the
three
right
lanes-
lane, you're going to have to stop if somebody's turning in front of you, you're going to have to stop.
Or exiting or all that, right?
Yeah, so the left lane is going to be the smoothest.
I
know,
normally-
the left
I
lane is gonna
normally
be
only
the
drive in
fast
rush hour.
lane.
I normally only drive in rush hour, so every lane just sucks ass. There
Okay.
is no smooth lane anywhere.
No. The middle lane is going to be the lane that everybody's crossing back and
Yes.
forth,
Okay,
right?
if you know the answer, can you please
I know.
email
I told you. I looked it up.
Flicks and
Flicks and
dicks.
Got it. Okay, guys out there, we still have no listeners, but when we do have listeners, please, even if it's 10 years from now, please email in to flicksanddicks@gmail.com. What's the answer? Which lane is the smoothest lane of
I
traffic?
don't want an email. I want a handwritten letter. Do people still do that?
Oh, we're going to put this out
We're
to you
off on another
guys.
tangent.
All
We need to
right.
get back to the movie.
I don't have a P.O. box, though. I don't want to be giving
Just
people
give
my
your home
address.
No.
Fuck that.
All right, let's get back to the movie.
Okay, all
Nobody's
right.
writing us a letter.
All
I
right.
don't think
So
people had to
Just
do that
fax
anymore.
us. Wait, do people still fax?
why don't you put it on a CD-ROM and stick it in a mailer?
Use carrier pigeons.
Okay, so we're doing the driving test, and I don't know if there's much to say here. Yeah, he passes the fucking thing. All right, great.
No, he failed.
No, he
He
passes
passed
the
the
driving.
Oh,
driving
the driving portion.
Yeah, the driving.
Not the,
yeah.
not the written portion.
All right.
I kind of like the whole cup of coffee thing, but
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course James Avery, he's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But-
chucks his clipboard out the window.
From the time we
I
get to the DMV, this is a fucking cartoon. The rest of the time, it was just like coming of age type of tone to it. This is a fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
yeah.
We got wide angle lenses. We are sticking it in everybody's faces. We got purple hair with pink eyeshadow. 60-year-old ladies screaming fuck.
Oh, hang on. One of my favorite lines from her. Don't crowd me, children. I'm a living time bomb.
I'm a living time bomb. They're all hilarious. They're from a different movie, but they're all hilarious.
So everybody has said, all the reviews have said that this movie was great up into the halfway point, and then it dive bombed. So here we are. We are at the halfway point.
We're
Here
at
we
the
go,
halfway.
folks.
This is the halfway point. Shut
sure.
the fuck up. There's no way this is the halfway point.
It's the shortest goddamn movie on the planet. Of course we're at the halfway point.
No, because
The movie's like an hour and 20 minutes long.
the first real plot point is going to be him failing his driver's test. We got to be 15 minutes in.
No.
This has got to be 15 minutes.
That was.
No.
It was.
No, standard movie format, 90 minutes. We are 15 minutes in.
No, it was past the 15-minute mark. I know because I had to stop it because I just watched the movie this
You were
morning.
24 minutes in
I
when
was
you
24
left for
minutes
work.
in, and at that point, he jumped up and he smacked the terminal when he was doing his quote-unquote written test.
And that doesn't fucking happen. That's bullshit. There's no way smacking the terminal is going to knock out every computer. Shut
That's
the
how
fuck
you
up.
got everything to work back in the day. You
Exactly.
smacked it.
You smacked the
smacked
shit
It
out
piss
either
out of
turned it off or it turned it on. So no, that's not wackadoo.
Yeah, maybe. What? What do you mean that's not wackadoo? Of course
To
it is.
smack it?
Yeah.
Smacking it, no.
And knocking everybody out and possibly corrupting the database. Shut up with that.
completely taking their computers down. Yes, that's a little out there.
We're still probably on the cusp of mechanical computing here, guys. I mean, that database had to be the size of a room.
But no, we were like 35 minutes in when he was doing his driving test.
What? Well, okay, so it's a
Yeah.
third. That's a third of the way. Mm-hmm. All right, fair enough. All right, so we get into this driving test, which is awesome. I mean, this guy basically says, "I'm not worried about a clipboard. I'm just doing this
Throws it out the window.
with what we call it Dianetic sound, something like that." Anyway, with sound effects, I mean, you practically heard the Roadrunner.
I am so glad that I did not hear like a bird or a something or a dog where it smacked it and it's like.
I was. So
You may as
waiting
well,
to
if they
hear-
had
I
that
was so
plug-in,
waiting
damn
to
it, they were
hear
gonna use
somebody
it.
Scream when he chucked the clipboard out the window.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was expecting. That's what this movie is, people.
It really is.
So he passes his test because he doesn't spill any coffee.
All I care about in this world
Is my cup of coffee.
Sorry, in this godforsaken mud ball we call Earth or whatever it was.
What's our timeline on James Avery with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Oh, this
is this
was-
a
this was
90s thing or
before.
is this right before?
This was before Fresh Prince.
Well, you have DJ Jazzy.
DJ
Dang it.
DJ
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
Yeah,
right.
there's they
Yeah.
are they have a song
DJ
that's
Jazzy
in
Jeff,
this.
Lisa.
Thank you.
Get it
gosh.
I
right.
just said that.
They keep feeding me wine, and I don't know why they keep doing this, but if you'll notice on our last
Slowly.
podcast, go ahead and listen to it. You can hear that point where all of a sudden it's like things are slurry, but it's okay. I'm not to that point yet. I'm still on one glass.
I thought you did very well considering the liter of wine that you drank. Well done, Lisa. Well done. I don't know how you were standing.
Fresh Prince came out in 90.
Oh, 90. Okay, so, you know what? Somebody probably saw that clip and Nicest Drive was like, this guy's fucking funny.
He was a well-known or an established actor by this point. He was doing Broadway and all kinds of stuff.
So he comes back in. Oh, right before he comes back, he's pulling into the parking lot. That's where we get that hilarious scene where the coffee cup falls down. They almost hit this girl.
Why the hell was he doing like 50 in a parking lot?
He's excited. Come on, he's just passing his test. He's almost done. He's seeing the light at the
He was paranoid as hell throughout the whole driving
He's going to get his independence, Mike, and he's going to be free. He's not thinking about any of that shit anymore. He probably knew that coffee cup was empty.
Oh, he probably did not.
I don't think he knew that.
So they almost hit this girl, and I could have sworn. I had to look her up, and I had to dig hard. I could have sworn that was Tiffany Amber Thiessen, and it's not. It looks exact. I thought Saved by the Bell was running right in front of that car because she had the same outfit that girl wears.
Well, it was the same time period.
Oh yeah. No, I thought it was. It turns out she's a stunt double. Mm-hmm. She's just a stunt double, but
just in case you do hit her.
She's good.
Let's make sure she's qualified to take that hit.
Yeah. We need to have somebody run out in front of the speeding car. We should probably get a professional. All right, so he comes back, and of course he's found out, and because they were able to retrieve the files and all that, so she tears this driver's license in half. So I'm not the only one here thinking, what the fuck is going on there?
Did he just not go to the laminating station?
I don't want to laminate it. I just want you to give it to me, please.
Yeah, that was bizarre to me. I'm like, how can you tear it? And there's another flub. Look it up, guys. On the sister's driver's license, it says under 21, and it has that she turns 21 when she's actually 20. And on his driver's license, it does not say under 21. So they flubbed on that part too. But granted, this is his first theatrical debut.
Lisa, these movie makers are trying to tell you a story. Why are you watching the fucking extras in the back and looking for the boom mic coming into shot?
Because they made such a point to show the driver's license, and why is her driver's license so different than his?
You're probably one of a handful of people that paid attention to that.
Oh, there's a big handful.
You know, they're here for our benefit. You know that, right? I mean, they're trying to entertain you. They're trying to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Would you just get with the program?
Maybe that's
whatever, Michael Bay.
Wow. Michael Bay? Fuck him. He's not trying to tell me a story. He's sticking his hands down my pants trying to get my last dime. Asshole. So,
huge fans of Michael Bay here, in case there was any question.
So they take away his driver's license. Take it away.
No, they shredded it.
They cut it right
it. They rip it.
They rip it.
They don't shred it. They rip it.
Shut the fuck up with that. So he gets back to the house, and he's got this weird thing that he's doing. He can't just tell his parents he failed his test, because that's not a movie, apparently. So his plan is that he's going to ride out the weekend and take it on Monday. Retake it on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, that's his plan.
But he had every intention of telling them that he failed. But at the last second, all of a sudden, Corey Haim, tongue hanging out of his face, I'm a free man.
Why? There's no reason for this. He even does the right thing, and they're sitting there, go, drive the car. He's like, I don't think I should be doing that. I don't think I should be drinking and driving, Father. I mean, he's being the most mature he's been probably his entire life right now. And
in real
so
life.
what's the problem? Why you say, I failed, I'm sorry to disappoint you, I'll retake it on Monday, but I'll do better. Then we wouldn't have a movie. But I mean, we have no movie if that happens. But the point is, when writing screenplays, that you should not be able to ask these questions.
But then we would have nothing to talk about after.
Well, yeah. And there'd be no point to this podcast and 12 people listening to it right now. Not right now.
I think we're going to get up to 15 after this one.
15 after this one?
We have 12 people in the garage?
License to Drive is a popular movie.
Oh.
And we are funny people.
Okay.
We are funny people.
All right.
When I'm drunk.
Jesus. That's cutting out. Okay, so Mercedes calls. All right, because he gave her his number earlier on, and she calls because he's grounded and he's just riding out the night. It's 11 o'clock at night, and she calls and says, "I'm bored." She says, "I'm lonely."
Oh yeah, I'm lonely.
I'm lonely.
It was 11:15 when she called, and she calls to say, "I'm lonely."
I'm lonely. Do popular girls say that?
Why are you assuming she's popular?
Because
you said she was popular.
Yes. Thank you, IMDb. I think it was Wikipedia that noted that she was a popular girl.
That's right, and even IMDb says, "Oh, the popular girl," because it's 1980s. Goddammit, and you just have to have a popular girl.
If she's hot,
unattainable.
she must be popular.
Right.
Hot and rich. Here's another question: did you guys ever know a hot and rich person who was not popular?
I'm just stuck on the fact that when some jerk nuts rings my doorbell at midnight,
to and
Ding
my
dong.
daughter, my gorgeous daughter is dressed very scantily. She's going out
I knew that was
at
gonna bother you, Mike.
midnight on a Friday night. Where the fuck were mom and dad?
Mom and dads don't exist except in this movie, but in other households, no.
They did not exist in
They're
her
on vacation.
household. They must have been on vacation or away on business.
Business. They're away on business. They've left her the keys to the liquor cabinet and the car and whatever else she needs to do. Pretty in Pink style.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Wow. That's a crazy fucking situation right there. All right, so here's what's going on. So she's got a date with Mercedes, right? She's called him up, says she's lonely.
He's got a date with Mercedes.
What did I say?
She.
Fair enough. He's got a date with Mercedes. She calls up, says I'm lonely. So it's on, right? And this was the one and only. You got to do it once in every single 80s movie. He turns and looks at the camera and says this thing. Who fucking cares?
That was another thing that was
That really
weird.
was an 80s trope.
Was,
God, it was.
I expected that to be throughout the movie, but it was done. I only saw it once.
I hate it. You really it takes you out of the movie. If you have a movie like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, that's almost a narrative. It's almost a narration of what's going on, of what's happening, this and that. That's different. Fight Club, that's also different. That's also sort of a narration. When you do it once, all of a sudden, I don't see the character anymore. I see fucking Corey Haim, and I just see a movie. It yanks you right out of the world. I hate it.
I think if it was done throughout,
If it was done throughout, it
you're
would
right.
have been different.
Yeah.
If it was done
I'm
throughout,
glad
would
it
have
didn't
been
last. But
But for that one little bit, yes, it was.
I was like,
it was
oh,
a
we're doing
brief
this.
narration.
this
It was-
is that kind of.
Okay.
It was a brief narration. I agree. If it would have been done throughout, then yeah, it probably would have been fine. But it was very awkward.
Like I said, that one Wonder Years episode, he looks right at the camera and winks, and I'm like,
Oh
what?
yeah, huh?
What? And then they never did it again because people are probably like, bullshit. We're not doing that in
They wrote
this
their
show.
handwritten letters and said, bullshit.
Bullshit. Yeah, that's all that was written on there. So, all right, the game's on, right? He's got to get this car out without waking up his parents. And, we didn't even mention, she's totally pregnant. She's got 3 kids and totally pregnant.
Okay, I'm sorry. Even when I was a kid, when I saw it when it first came out on VHS, we had to rent it from Blake Video. I've mentioned that a few times before in other podcasts, so I'm sure I'll hear it again. But no, we didn't go to the movies. Shit was too expensive. But we rented it. I watched it, and to this day, it has always been one of the scenes that stood out the most in my mind. And that was when Prego Mom grabs the bowl of mashed potatoes, and 90% of that bowl comes out in one scoop, and she just slops it onto her plate and, squirts ketchup all over it.
Did you notice when she found the failed test, because they put a big old "you failed" stamp on his piece of paper or whatever? There's a can of Ready Whip of it to the left on the
I did not
on the
notice
dryer.
that.
There's a big old can of Ready Whip.
Watch the fucking movie. Why are you looking for all the bugs?
I just happened to, it was like my
That's not
third
a
time
flub.
watching it this week, right?
That's not a flub.
And I just happened to look over. I'm like, she's got a fucking can of Ready Whip right there, just ready to go because
That's
she's
because
pregnant.
All
She's
pregnant
eating.
women do is eat.
What did I eat when I
That's
was
it.
pregnant? Ice chips.
Well, it's because
Bag of
everything
ice.
else. It's because everything else you tried to eat, you puked up moments later.
So that's why your kids are the way they are.
Yes,
Ice. They're super
sick
nutritious.
burn.
that was definitely sick, and I'm sure some of it burned.
So he's getting this car out of the garage, and this is his plan. His plan is to quietly push the car out of the garage and take the light bulb out. So that
Which was actually smart because they did use.
They did play into that later.
Later in the movie, he
what?
flipped on the light switch and it wouldn't go on.
Isn't that the first sign of trouble? If you flip on the light switch and your light doesn't go on, what's the first thing you do? You investigate the problem. Why don't I have a fucking light?
In the middle of the night, no.
No.
I just say, "Oh
He's
shit."
been woken up by his pregnant wife. I don't know how many times. He's not caring.
I just say,
He's not
"Oh
caring
shit."
to fix it. He'll get it in the morning.
The light is out. I'll change the bulb when I'm coherent, not at 2 o'clock in the morning.
So this is the funny part. He pushes the car out, and he goes to get the light bulb. The car starts rolling down the grass through the bushes. Game over. That's when you're done. That's when you're found out. From anything you do from then on out, hey man,
fucked.
You're fucked. You're going to be in the same amount of trouble as you were because they knew you took the car. There is nothing from that point on that you're going to do to conceal his behavior. So why go back up and try to get the light bulb out?
Because he really wanted a date with Mercedes.
Probably for the same reason.
There's no reason
as
for
the
him to.
car. He's trying to stop the car, can't get into it, and then he finally he gives up. He admits defeat. He just stands there and watches as this car is slowly. Grandma with a walker could have caught up to this car. He just stops. Oh shit! I guess there's nothing I can do now. And he stops and just watches as the car is rolling towards a lamppost.
Mercedes was
stopped
standing
and
out
looked.
there?
So he goes to pick her up. This is the first of a series of lines that Heather Graham says that, holy crap, I could probably spout these off right now and they would be the exact same lines. I just love this spot with my dad. You were there to hold me. I don't want anything from you. What are you doing, Les? I mean, they're the most generic, the strangest string of dialogue I've ever heard anyone say in a movie that mean nothing.
She just had serious daddy issues.
I mean, it's almost like director pointed to her and said, speak.
She had serious daddy issues. Daddy
Well, I
wasn't
want to know where
there.
this is going, Mike.
Daddy wasn't there to answer the door at midnight.
Why are we bothering?
She takes a new boyfriend, whatever, up to, which was really kind of creepy if you think about it.
Why are we
Who
bothering
takes-
with the backstory with this
Hang
girl?
on. What dad takes his daughter in the middle of the night up to a really
I don't think he
romantic
took her in the
hideaway
middle of the night. He
spot?
just took her there once
I'm just saying, all I could think was Daddy's a creeper.
But this is a
which
good point.
explained it helped to explain why she was with this, Paolo dude who looked like he was 35 or
Oh,
whatever.
you're giving so much more psychology.
With the
in this
17,
film
18-year-olds.
deserves way too much more psychology. So why are we bothering with the backstory of Mercedes? And my father used to bring me up to this place. Blah blah blah. It was so nice. She's in the trunk for the majority of the film. Why are we bothering with her story? She's a lamppost
She was
in a
eye
trunk.
candy. She was eye candy.
God,
There
this
was
doesn't
really
make
no
any
reason for a
sense.
Backstory for her. She was just there.
So the bullies come up and they're like, let's race him. This 1973 Cadillac is not beating anybody off the line. Nope. That Cadillac could have had 400 horsepower and it's not beating anybody off the line. Okay? That is a pickup truck. That is a cargo truck trying to beat somebody off the line. This guy's had like a souped up Nova or something like that, with a supercharger or something like that. No, this is not a contest. It's an automatic fucking transmission.
I was kind of grateful that he didn't try to race him. He was like, and we're still going to crawl. It's okay.
I drove a 1970s style Lincoln Mark II once. I floored it. It didn't do shit. It made a whole bunch of noise, but it didn't go anywhere.
Was it as beat up as this Cadillac at the end of the movie?
This Cadillac's supposed to be cherry, right? Because he doesn't like to take it on long drives. This
By
Cadillac's
the end of the movie.
It's a low mileage
At the end of the
vehicle.
movie, it was
Low
hauling ass,
mileage.
though. It was hauling ass at the end of the movie. In reverse.
A Ford Temco. Temco? I said Temco. Now who's had too many beers?
You're on 1.5.
Too many.
Yes. So they get to Archie's, and so they just happen to find the three archetype girls that match their archetypes.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You've got the totally, pretty girl, and then you have the one that's obviously the bad influence, and then you have the one that is the nerdy
You had the
one.
awkward nerd, the one that was really,
Yeah.
really tall, standing in the back.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, guys! This is the weirdest coincidence. I just ran into a mirror image of us.
The tall one with the glasses.
I felt like we were watching Alvin and the Chipmunks at that point. I really did.
Oh,
shit.
damn it, Lisa.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Beat me to that. Fuck!
The tall one looked more like she was a mom than anything else.
So they do run into the Chipettes.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
God damn it. So cruising for chicks is one thing, but I never got the hang of when I was 16, what do you actually do when you catch up to them? I did a lot of cruising as a teenager. That's what we did. Is we
yeah.
went cruising and we wasted gas. That's really all it amounted to. And we yelled at girls all the time. We're like, hey, baby, all that stuff. What would if what would happen if they actually pulled over? What do
I
you
did
do?
experience the what happens if you actually pull over, cruising up and down. I'm not going to say the name of the street, but we would ask for each other's pager numbers and, pagers.
Oh,
That's
fuck
what
that.
was going on when I was 16.
Our listeners to know we fucking live in Denver. Yeah, we live in Denver, and you were cruising up Colfax.
No, federal.
No.
Oh, federal.
Colfax was cheap prostitutes, depending on which end of Colfax you were on.
No, we would cruise on Federal, and
Federal was the cruising street.
Federal was a cruising. It's still. I think it still is.
I think
yeah.
it still is.
It is.
Yeah.
So we would cruise Sheridan. Anybody who's not from Denver, that was really funny.
We went cruising, and that was how I got to cop my first feel.
Your first?
So you're saying
Yeah,
you got
I was
your
like
first feel
12.
around 16 years old?
No, I was like
Or
12.
19 when you got your license.
No, I was 12. We stole my mom's car. Sorry,
Oh.
we borrowed my mom's car. Borrowed.
So this happens. This is a thing.
I think I caught my first feel at 12.
Yeah,
That's a magical time, actually.
it really
so.
was. They were very large. Nice. That's good stuff.
Did you get the feeling that this gearhead, this bully, was supposed to be Kiefer Sutherland?
Really? I thought
wow.
Billy Idol.
Billy,
Oh my God! Yes, yes.
yes, damn it! Now that you mention
thought
that,
it was Billy Idol.
I thought Kiefer Sutherland, but Billy Idol is so much better.
it is.
Oh,
it
yeah.
is. It is a nice time for a white wedding, though.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Thank
Oh,
you.
wow. All right.
It's a right time for Archie's and a right time for a white wedding, or for this fucking guy who's dead apparently. R.I.P. on this one. I couldn't figure out what he died of, but yeah, he's dead.
Okay, way to bring a downer.
Sorry. Anyway, so this guy was hilarious. He's trying to murder them, incidentally,
Oh,
because the
he's
guy
riding the
doors his
hood.
car. He's trying to murder them.
I just don't understand why everybody has golf clubs in the back of their car.
Well, they have golf clubs in the back of the caddy because it's grandfather's caddy. And
Yeah, but
my wife has golf clubs in the back of her car right now.
at the car hop place, didn't they come out with golf clubs after
No,
them?
it was a tire iron.
It was
Was
tire
it a-
iron.
It was a tire
Really
iron.
long one.
Yeah, it's meant to do some damage.
All the shit that you caught, all the driver's license and the 3 different license plates, you caught all that, but you didn't catch the blatantly
Well, I'm
obvious
still
tire
a
iron
woman. I
coming
mean,
out.
I don't pay attention to everything, but I still always have to be right.
Man, ain't that the fucking truth?
Yes, it was a really long tire iron. No, it was a normal sized tire iron. And, yeah.
And one of the other bullies, he goes on to, I think, Seventh Heaven and things like that. Like, I think he's the father in Seventh Heaven.
No.
No, did I get that wrong?
No.
He's in one of those Highway to Heaven, Seventh Heaven type of shows. I mean, it's pretty funny.
Well, that's entirely possible, but he wasn't the dad.
All right.
He would have been way too old.
Prove me wrong. That's totally cool.
All right.
This is where the movie really starts to slow down.
Slow
Down.
Yeah.
So as soon as Feldman's in the back window saying, "Archie's, come back, Archie's," yeah, we slow to a crawl. We have to get to a point where it's going to pick it up again. But right before we do that, Corey's sister is at a protest rally. This is another odd turn for this movie. And also the end of her story.
It really is, yeah.
No, she showed up in the final
The
scene.
final shot.
Yeah.
Yes, the final shot.
The family pose shot. She's in that shot.
Yes. I thought they
Does
were
she
going to
get
have
arrested?
her, like...
They drug her
Like-
away, man. The Audi's gone and they drug her away.
The car was impounded.
Yeah,
What has
why
become
in that
of her?
final shot did they not have her being brought back by the cops? Why did they not have the car being towed in? No, it was very, like, here she is.
The
She's
car
not
has to go because there has to only be one option at the end of the movie.
Yes.
So the Audi has to go bye-bye.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the only reason for that scene.
Well, yeah. It worked.
And everybody's okay with this.
Yeah, I thought it worked.
I never
thought
said
it
I was
worked.
okay with anything.
You ever notice she gets really indignant about him driving without a license and taking her grandfather's Cadillac out
Yeah,
when she's at a fucking riot?
She's being arrested.
She's beating the hell out of his car.
She went to a peaceful riot.
It was
Which
a
turned
peaceful-
ugly.
And it
peaceful
turned ugly.
protest
She was not
rally.
down with it going.
She had an out, and she chose not to take it. She says, "I don't think we should do this," and
She
he
was
says, "Come
drugged.
on."
Yeah, he drug her.
What, did he force her? And she's banging on the car with the rest of them. There's a thing called free agency, and she was not exercising it at that
No,
time.
because she was being a good woman.
Because she was
and
16.
she went with her man.
Oh,
She went
damn.
with her man.
Well, they're making such a damn point about her being this perfect. Oh, how different can you and your twin sister really be? I mean, she's this perfect one, and
Hey,
he's
Carol Seaver acted out occasionally.
Carol
okay?
Seaver.
She got drunk.
Did she
Carol
really?
Got drunk.
She did. It happened.
How do you
Are
know
we
that
talking
episode?
about? Oh, we're not talking about the
Growing
mom.
pains.
No, we're
No.
talking growing pains.
We're talking about
Carol.
Carol.
was the sister.
Yeah. What was her name?
I don't remember.
Damn
All I
it.
remember about her was her dyslexic commercials.
Sorry.
Her dyslexia commercials.
But
That's all I
every
remember.
Man,
single,
that
every
show was rife with
totally
problems.
nerdy person who is the goody has their acting out moment. They just do. This was hers.
But yeah, so the car's taken away. They're getting arrested, and all she's screaming is, "You don't have a license!"
Yeah, that's all she's doing is screaming while she's banging
Well,
the shit out of
because
this
somebody
car.
had to say it where they're like, "Wait, what?" You know, and it brought it up later. I actually don't think that they heard her say that.
No, they didn't, because they were lost and confused in the very next scene where it's a random DUI checkpoint, and the officer's asking for his license, and he's and then he doesn't say anything. He just turns and looks away from the officer. Instead of something that says, "Hey, I don't drive, I ride the bus."
Right. I drive around seeing traffic signs everywhere, but I don't actually have a license.
You guys see this as being slow. I really enjoyed the next bit with the drunk driving off in their car. That was what got me liking Mel Torme.
Mel Torme. Oh, goddamn, yeah. I mean, they're making fun of this whole sequence of where he's playing this music even several times throughout the movie, where he's dancing with Mercedes on top of the car,
Ooh,
and he's like,
earlier-
"This is ridiculous music," which is actually quite mood-setting music, if you ask me. Yeah.
And then after Mercedes is dancing on the car, scratching up the hood and everything, and then they cave the hood in, whatever. But then you've got Charles and Feldman in the car with him, and you got Charles who's jamming out in the front passenger seat, just throwing his head back like, "Yeah, this is the shit."
Fuck yeah.
That
It
was
was Frank
great.
Sinatra, by the way.
Frank
wasn't
Sinatra, Mel Torme.
Yeah,
Damn.
Mel Torme was one of the tapes in the glove box, though.
Yes.
So
But
you're,
what Sinatra
I can see where you get
You are
that.
correct.
So they're listening to that. The drunk steals the car, and this is where all the damage with the car happens. I mean, every last bit of it is this scene right here. So this is where it gets that ridiculous scene. It's just the right side. I can fix that. With what? with Bondo, with welding torches, with Sid. I mean, you're doing all this in one night, because by my clock, he picks Mercedes up at 11 o'clock in the fucking evening.
No. She called him at 11:15.
11:15.
And he goes, "I can be there in a half
And
hour."
did he say half hour?
Yes.
All right, so let's start this clock. That's 11:45 by the time, at the best, that he can pick up by his reckoning, and that's not always right sometimes. So 11:45, he picks her up. They go out to the club. Okay, she gets drunk. They go to the point. All right, we're talking at least 12:30 going on here. Okay, so then he goes back to the house, picks up the two guys. They go to Archie's. We're talking 1 o'clock, 1:30 maybe.
Wait, no, they fixed the car in between that.
He bangs. Yeah, that's got to take a good half hour at least to hammer out a dent in the hood.
A half hour. What about her heels scraping on the hood? That's
But
Well,
he
he's gotta
panicked-
do some kind of
he
touch-up with
panicked
that.
over the tiniest of tiny scratches on the driver's side door by the keyhole. He freaked the fuck out over. 'Cause he dropped Mercedes on the curb. I mean, he straight up dropped her on the curb to go check out this, centimeter long scratch by the keyhole on the driver's side door. But did not panic or flip the fuck out over the etching job that she did on the hood.
so by the
Because I
time
gotta
that his
take my
sister
shoes-
is at a protest, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning.
It's gotta be. It's got at least 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see. When do parents wake up in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock? That gives them 4 hours to fix all that on the right hand side. Watch your car just careen into the side of a wall.
Yeah.
Nope, stupid line. So
Okay, so they have the news saying breaking news. Now the news doesn't start till like 5 o'clock in the morning.
well, we're talking late night news. It's just a very small protest. Who gives a shit? But it does get the cops away from.
But it was on the news, though, like live as it was happening. What the fuck hour was that? That was happening live.
Thank you.
Where the father
I'm
finally
with
decides.
We have to say this is his
I'm
first
with you.
film that has been in the theater that he directed, and there's mistakes were made. Mistakes were just made.
So obviously, just hitting the right side, you're done, man. That's it. You're in trouble. The same time he ran over the bushes, you're fucking done. Everybody knows what you did.
You're stuck on that. One of the big problems I had with it was the trip to Archie's. It's supposed to be out in the middle of nowhere.
You can only get there with the driver's license.
You can only
That's
get
right.
there with your freedom card,
Yes.
your driver's license.
Love it.
So, and it was like the blink of an eye. I mean, it took them no time at all to get there. If it would have been Harold and Kumar go to White Castle, it would have been like a commercial spot.
I mean, you don't want to walk.
It would have been a commercial
Buses
spot.
don't even go out there, and you sure as hell not going to ride your bike.
And they got there in no time flat without incident.
If you rode your bike, where would Charles be?
Oh,
Yeah, they'd have to leave Charles out, which would not be beyond the scope of an 80s trope.
true.
Where would Mercedes be?
She's going to be in the fucking trunk of that bike.
She'd be riding the fender.
I can't believe it. That's psychotic, sticking somebody in a trunk who's drunk, passed out, and don't get me started on Feldman undoing a dress.
no, hang on.
Taking the pictures of her.
God
Yeah.
damn it. I'm like, these guys are a couple of psychos.
All right.
I would have
All right,
never
hang
done
on.
that.
I had problems with it, but when I was a kid, I was like, damn, I would not mind seeing that picture. I do not
Yeah.
condone it.
When you were
but I
a
would not
kid,
mind
did you really
seeing
think
that
anything of it?
picture.
Obviously, we're adults. We're like, that's fucking rape.
Yes. Now I'm thinking is, wow, that's jail time right there, you motherfucker.
Totally, that's jail time.
But hang on, real quick. When they got pulled over for this this random checkpoint, number one, the officer finds out that no one in the vehicle has a valid driver's license.
Right.
Okay, so they're all spread eagle on the side of the car. Okay, let's have a look inside the trunk. He
Yeah,
finds
I
a
asked-
woman
I
passed
asked myself
the fuck out
this, yeah.
in the trunk of the car.
Well, she wakes up.
Yes.
In terms,
Hi!
in
then she
terms,
passes out
in terms
again.
of prioritizations, as a police officer and you're being dispatched, what takes precedent?
You've got a woman passed out in the trunk of a car. License
Or a riot.
not. License or not.
Or a
fuck
riot.
that. But there's a woman passed out in the trunk of a car, and because you've got to go help, police a potential riot,
Is that a thing?
you leave.
You leave?
These 3 illegal drivers.
Yeah, but you also give them a good ribbing. It's like, okay, you shenanigan
lucked out.
doers, you lucked
You
out.
lucked out tonight.
So we've been
Holy
reviewing many
shit.
movies from 20 plus years ago, and we have discovered that cops really were not the law back then, because there are so many things that are overlooked. Like, okay, go ahead, it's fine,
According
you
to
can
the
do this.
movies, police officers were morons.
Or dicks with mustaches.
Yeah,
Right.
You're either a dick or an idiot.
Now in today's cops movies, they're and I think we were talking about this before, but yeah, they don't have mustaches anymore, and they're super fucking cool. You look at movies like SWAT, and you look at other movies like that. It's like cops are cool. Lethal Weapon, all of that. Of course, Lethal
Yeah.
Weapon was an '80s movie, but whatever. But
Die
yeah,
Hard. Don't forget Die
maybe
Hard.
if it's a comedy, cops are dumbasses.
Right.
They're the biggest dumbasses you ever heard of.
Apparently, yeah.
That's why you don't
All
talk
right,
to
so
them.
that was one of my problems with the movie.
Just one of them.
Cop just leaving some poor random girl in the trunk of a car. He didn't even make sure that she made it out of the trunk of the car. He left. The cops left with this girl still passed out in the trunk of a car.
So, if we think this pacing is a little bit quick, that's probably because this entire movie wants so badly to get to this last scene. Right before we get to the last scene, he's dropping Mercedes off at home, and she says another just stupid generic line of, "You're always there to help me. You're always there
You're always
to
there
be
to-
with
to-
me.
to hold me."
To hold me." Jesus, what's with these lines? And the dumbest lines were given to Heather Graham. I don't understand this. And then they share a kiss. Now,
That was an
He's a
open mouth
good
kiss.
kiss.
That was an open mouth kiss. It was a holy damn.
it sure was. The last thing I knew, Corey'd been up all night and without a toothbrush in sight, and she fucking puked.
I was gonna say she already puked.
All right, so he's
That's all I could
kissing
think.
her with puke mouth, and I know he's got some dry
Did
mouth
she
going
actually
on.
puke? I was really trying to remember.
No, I don't.
She
I don't-
totally puked.
When?
She says, I think I'm going to throw up.
She
She
says,
says,
I think I'm going to throw up,
but I don't think she actually
no,
did.
she didn't actually puke.
Bullshit. The little brother says it smells like puke in this car.
The drunk puke.
Damn it.
part.
Nope, you're right.
Drunk guy
Fucking
did it.
hell. All
And
right.
that was another issue that I had. Corey Haim is on the floorboards of this car, of this caddy, trying to
Laying
hit
in
the
the
brake. And they show him crawling up, and man, the way it sounded, it was one of the
That was the
pukes
first
ever.
time he was on the floor. The second time was when they pulled into the garage. The dad throws in the briefcase and he's laying on the floor.
Right, I didn't even think about this guy. This guy
Oh, I
threw
forgot
up
about
all
that.
over
Yes,
the floor.
he was hiding on the floorboard.
And he was rolling it at least two times in this movie. All right, fine. At the very least, she's got morning breath. She's been asleep this whole time. Okay? So that's disgusting.
You've never,
never
kissed
kissed
your
your
wife
wife
with morning
after-
breath?
My fucking wife, man. I'm not a 16-year-old.
Yeah, this is a 16-year-old going, this is the hottest girl ever.
Exactly. Hottest girls don't shit, and they don't puke, and they don't have bad breath. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Whether
Travis
they
did
did or
not
didn't.
realize this until he was like 25.
No. Yeah. Until I
Pretty
was
girls
like
don't do
25,
that.
girls don't poop.
Pretty girls don't do that.
No. They don't have. They don't.
Ugly girls, however.
excrete anything.
Ugly girls, however, all day long.
Man, you guys are going to be getting hate mail.
Hey, mail is mail.
All right, so let's get to it. I fucking love this scene. I absolutely love this scene. The scene where I forgot his name already, but the dad finds out what happened, what's going on, and of course he has the funniest line in the whole movie. No handle, which is hilarious. And then the wife wants him to be in the backseat of the car because she's in pain and she's having a baby.
She wants her hubby with her.
And so
She
Corey
yanks him through the fucking window.
So Corey Haim's got to drive. Okay. So they get to a stop sign, and he says, "Go through it. There's nobody around."
Stoplight.
The stop sign.
It was
No, it's a red light.
it was
That's
a
right.
red light.
Red light.
And all the hubcaps go flying off, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then
They didn't
all of a
fly
sudden-
off when it went down the
When it was
side of the
flying through the
overpass.
air, yeah.
It went down and crashed, which didn't do any damage to the car whatsoever.
So
Anyway.
so they stop, and all of a sudden he can't get it going. So the transmission's blown. And the only gear that works is reverse.
Reverse.
Damn it! And he gives this stupid smile with his tongue hanging out of his face, and they're flying through suburbia, through white American suburbia, backwards at top speed. Now, we all know this driving backwards at high speeds is bullshit. You can't do it.
Right.
They
It's
did it in the
impossible.
movie.
It's impossible. But
They did it in the movie.
It works, and it's awesome, and I love every second of that.
thought it was great.
Of that sequence. It's awesome.
God, you've been so stuck on how privileged he is, but here's what the dad takes away from him. Here's what the dad takes from him. We had a college fund set aside for you.
College
That's
fund?
gone now.
Okay.
You had free room and board, 2 trusting parents, and a social life. All gone. You had a TV, a stereo, baseball, tennis racket, skateboard, and a bicycle.
You are
all
forgetting
gone.
the 2
you
guitars.
even had sunlight and a window in your room. Done. That's what Mr. Anderson says to his son.
Mr. Anderson. Every time they said that in this movie, all I could think about was
I was waiting to
Matrix.
see some Matrix moves.
Mr. Anderson. Because they all say it like that, too. He also has a goddamn private phone line, and only the rich fucking pukes I
Are
knew
you sure
growing
he
up.
had it, or did you just not answer the phone first?
No.
We had a private phone line. We
They
were
had
not
the intercom
privileged.
system, and you knew that was hoity-toity. That was hoity-toity rich shit at that time.
I didn't know that shit existed,
Oh,
to be honest with
goddamn,
you. I had no idea that shit existed.
Every time I went to a rich friend's house, they had the intercom system. Did we have an intercom system? The answer is no.
You had your own private line.
We did.
No,
You
we
did?
didn't.
Yes, because I would call mom from upstairs and say, I was still at a party. And I would call mom and say, Mom, I'm upstairs. I'm really tired. I just want to go to bed. And she would go, okay, sweetie. And I would go back to my
We didn't have
party.
our own private line at the farm. We had a party fucking line at the farm.
No,
but
when
I
we
mean,
moved to Denver, that's when we got the private line. It happened.
And you weren't well to do.
that's true.
White, yes.
So
White,
we,
yes, but not privileged.
So we get to the end, and this is where we get that big reveal that the car is completely smashed up and torn to pieces, and grandfather just starts laughing hysterically because it's just hilarious. And then, for whatever reason, the father's BMW comes up, and it's just in the same condition. And so the father says, "Here's your car," and he says, "I already have a Mercedes." Jumps in a VW Cabriolet, that I know now is a VW Cabriolet, and roll credits. What do you guys think? You guys recommend this movie?
No.
Are you sure?
I recommend it as, oh, you haven't seen it? How the hell have you not seen it? You need to watch it.
It was a fun movie. It was nothing more than that.
I disagree.
I enjoyed it.
I think the beginning was great and the end was great, and I think that when they went into this movie, they had the beginning written and they had the end written, and they only had the plot line written for the middle.
Lisa, that's a really good point.
I liked the very beginning of the movie. I thought it was fantastic. I apparently you guys didn't, but I liked the middle of the movie and I liked the end of the movie.
The
I
only
think everything else in
clever
between I
lines
thought was
and the
shit.
clever plot was in the beginning and was in the end.
Or delivered by the parents. The parents were
great.
Were phenomenal in this movie. I
Oh,
love
well,
it.
what about the drunk guy when Charles is trying to convince the drunk guy to pull over? He goes, sir, there's been a mix-up. We seem to have.
Do you know what?
You've got our car, we've got yours, and the drunk guy leans out the window. Oh, well, thank you very much.
You're very
And then,
kind.
You're very
Thank you very
kind.
much.
It goes
You're very
back
That was
in the
another
window.
flub that I noticed in the movie. And the reason that I noticed all the flubs was because the movie sucked so badly that it gave me something to look at. So when he rips the part of the roof off, he's trying to get in the passenger seat, right?
Yes.
So he rips off that portion where his hand is. In the end, when they're showing the car destroyed, it's
It was
in the
back
back.
together.
No, it's
it
ripped off in
moved.
the
It
back
moved.
end of the car.
In the back end of the car. He was trying to get in the
I
back
thought that-
window.
No,
Yeah.
he was trying to get into the front passenger.
No, he was trying to get in the back
He
window.
was trying to get in the back.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this. Kids, rewatch this because I really think he was trying to get in the front
Nope,
passenger
I
window.
vote back.
It
I
was
think he was
back.
trying to get in
It
the
was
back.
back.
Or he ended up there because they're doing the Footloose scene of him between the cars.
He started off at the front and then. Because he was at the back. He was trying to kick his leg up, and then somehow got stuck on
That'd be
the
pretty
front side of the back
confrontational
door.
trying to go in the front window.
Pulled the back door open
Yeah.
because he was on the front for a minute.
And then Mercedes says, "Hi, Les," and then flops back
Yeah.
down. Great read there, honey.
Actually,
Really
that
good.
is the point that I, even throughout all my childhood from watching it and everything, that's what I remember the most was her sitting up.
Hi, Les.
All I saw was you, Lisa. all I saw was Lisa popping her head
Hi,
up.
Les.
Back.
Bottle of wine.
It's not Lisa fashion at all.
I gotta tell you, I love this movie then, I love it now. I watched it 3 times for the show, and I enjoyed myself every single time. I think the parents are fantastic. I enjoy watching those actors do their shtick, and it is a shtick, and it is awesome. It is great. The Coreys were great. And I probably shouldn't call it the Coreys, only because after watching that
They're so
that E.
different.
True story, Feldman, I don't think Feldman really liked being a Corey. Maybe Corey Haim did, but Corey Haim was a more up and coming star, and Corey Feldman was a actor since
was a
childhood.
tag-along.
He was
a
since the
tag-along.
start. He was an actor, you know.
Yeah.
And he was a better actor.
Feldman was a tag along with Corey Haim, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And he was a better actor. Could you see Corey Haim in Goonies? Fuck all that. There's no way.
No.
No.
Well,
No.
God damn it.
Well, maybe.
This would have been
as,
before Lucas, so maybe he just didn't have the chops. Not at that time.
Maybe he couldn't keep his tongue in his mouth.
Tongue back in your
Put
mouth.
your tongue back in your mouth.
I say it's a huge recommend for me.
It is not for me.
You have to see it at least once.
You have that's
You have to
it
see
is
it at
important to
least
see it
once.
once.
I enjoyed the movie.
Perfect.
It was fun.
All right. Well, that was License to Drive, directed by Greg Beeman and written by Neil Tolkien, starring Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. Let's just say it that way, shall we? Because that's what we really mean to say anyway.
Heather Graham.
Heather Graham, yes, making it's definitely worth a check out just to see her as the award-winning lamppost that she is in this movie only. She's much better in other ones. All right, if you want to get a hold of us, please direct any and all correspondence and email to flicksanddicks@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out our podcast on YouTube and anywhere you get the podcast. And
Follow us on Twitter.
follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and keywords definitely Flicks and Dicks. Probably not safe for work, as you'll find a lot of other stuff that's on there too. So, this week we also want to give a huge shout out to our most prominent sponsor, recycle-bikeparts.com. Tell them you're a dick and receive 10% off. And as always, free shipping. Why buy new when used will do? And that's just our advice from a couple of dicks. I'm Travis.
I'm Mike.
I'm Lisa.
Take it easy.